for ACM. ACM being the Ambulatory Claims Manager, the service that RelayHealth provides to work and manage your claims. So what we're going to go through today is the Task Manager. The Task Manager is a tool within ACM that allows you to create tasks for yourself and for other users to kind of catch claims that maybe have fallen through the cracks. It tries to avoid that, act as a safety net. I'm going to show you the different types of tasks that can be created. We'll talk about each one, and then show you how to go in and view these. All right. So if you cannot see my screener here, let us know. Otherwise, let's jump right into this. And it looks like should be good. Okay, on this front screen, what we're looking at is a Task Manager. Okay, this is you're logging in through your Management Plus to access your ACM, and you should have a Task Manager button over on the right, or I'm sorry, on the left side. If you do not have that button, let someone in our support team know. You can email or call our support team and let them know that you need to be set up with the Task Manager access. It is a great tool, even if it is only one or two of you in your office doing the billing. It is good to have. Okay, so we're going to focus just on this first button. We're not going to talk about the Claim Manager or really the search tools today. If you do have additional questions about that, let our support team know. So this first section is our task. You can see up here in red, this is where we are, is our Task Manager. Okay, over on the right side, there's a couple of different options that we have. The first one being Add a Task. We can edit a task. We can select items, which I'll talk about that later. We can copy a task, filter tasks. Okay, so these are all task-related functions. The My Dashboard button and Print Reports, I'm going to show you those very quickly. We're not going to spend too much time on these, but My Dashboard allows you to see just quick information at a snapshot. The system, these can't be changed. These are just kind of the standard previews that it has set up. So the first one in this first top left corner is top initial rejections for claims uploaded for the last month. Okay. Then we have the claim status by payer. And you can see at the top of each section there's these different tabs. All right, so these are initial rejections, meaning the clearinghouse. We have payer rejections. Okay, it gives you a description down below of what that payer rejection was and how many claims were affected. Claim status by payer, where this pie is showing us all payers, and it gives us the percentages of accepted claims, paid claims, pending, error, processing. Okay, you can also filter it out by specific insurance. The way they have these groups, we have Blue Cross, Champus or TRICARE, Commercial, Medicaid, and Medicare. Okay, if there's no data, it will just tell you that there's no data to display. Okay, so we didn't send Medicaid in the last month for this particular provider. We have the top 5 payers by claim amount. All right, so Aetna is a huge payer. We have then United Healthcare, Oxford, Medicare, and then Cigna. All right, and then the bottom right corner, we have the claim aging. This is a slightly bigger date range. Okay, you can see this is going from October through March 6th, and it's kind of color-coded the same way. It gives you the little legend over here, and you can break it out to show, you know, just Blue Cross or just Champus or just Medicaid or Medicare. All right, so My Dashboard is designed to be a quick overview of where things are. This is a printable report. You can also save this. All right. Print reports. This is a list of all of the reports that are available in ACM. We're not going to go through all of these today, but feel free to come out and play around with these. The way they are generated is simply by double-clicking on it, choosing your customer number, which is your office name will be here, the date range you want to run it for, and then when you hit the Save button, that's kind of like Generate, and it will give you those results. Okay, so with the reports, come out, play around with those, and then let us know if you have any questions. So, as far as the Task Manager goes, as I mentioned before, there's different types of tasks. There's really only 2 or 3 that you guys will be using on a regular basis. When we do Add a Task, the first thing we have to do is specify what type of task we want to create. So if we look at this drop-down, we have the keyword and then we have a description. Okay, the keyword, don't worry so much about, just go by the descriptions of what you want. Okay, billing task and claim task are going to be the ones you use the most, and we'll go in and look at each of those. These others you probably will not. This is a check search, so you could come out and search for checks that have, if you are supposed to be receiving those from RelayHealth. All right. The eligibility you won't be using because we do not do eligibility through this Practice Insight or ACM product. The ERA manager is very similar to the check search. You can go out and look for specific ERAs by file name and so on. Support issues, response, and the work list, these three you won't be using. All right, so we're going to focus today primarily on the billing and the claims. So with the billing task, we're going to select it and we're going to save our selection, and it's going to take us into this screen. Okay, you can see up here this is primarily for statements. If you send statements out through RelayHealth, that's going to be where this information comes into play. If you do not, then we're going to focus more on the claim task. Okay. Basically what we're looking at in here is going to have your office name, okay, the staff member that's currently logged in. Then you can create a description for this particular task. Okay, so we have a test task is what we'll call it. The status, these are statuses of the statements, okay? So do you want to see statements that have been batched or deleted or sent or printed, what's pending, the different statuses of statements. Again, if you're not using statements with RelayHealth, then this will not benefit you at all. So if what that means is if you're printing your own statements in-house, or if you're sending them through like Bill Flash or another company for them to print for you, it's okay if you are, you just won't be using this, okay? So from here, and we don't have any set up in this demo environment, but you can search by AR date, by how much the patient owes, and so on, all right? So that's what the billing task is. Go back in and add a task, and then we are going to focus on this claim task, okay? Because this is where we're going to create these tasks looking at claims. So when we come in to add a new claim task, we again have our customer information, our demo staff. We're going to name this one a test, again, because we didn't save the other, okay? Everything in here is what you're telling the system, alert me if any of this is true, okay? And this is who we're going to assign it to. I can assign it to myself. I can assign it to multiple users simply by checking the little box on the left side. Okay, I don't have to assign it to myself. I can just assign it to other people, and it will show up on their work list. Okay, so that is how you assign a task. We're going to save that. So we're going to assign it to staff member 48. All right. Unassigned claims. If claims have not been unassigned, then you can tell it to, or if they have not been assigned, I apologize, then you can tell it to assign them to that user. If they have been assigned to someone else, by default, it's not going to go to a second user unless you specifically tell it to. Okay. The statuses, right here, the next box down, these are our statuses for the different claims. All right. If you're familiar with ACM, you've seen this a lot. You see these statuses on a daily basis with your claims. All right. Has that claim been acknowledged? Has it been completed? Has it been denied? Are they invalid? Are they paid? All right. So maybe we want to see all claims that have an accepted or acknowledged status that have not been paid yet. Okay. So we want to choose all of these accepted claims or acknowledged claims. Okay, and we're going to save our selections, and it shows you that you have 7 statuses selected. The next section is the different formatting and who's responsible, the claim type. You guys are all sending production claims. Most of you don't send tests past the first time. And then we want just 4010 or 5010. Everybody should be also in 5010. You can leave all of these checked. It's just going to broaden your search. And if you don't have any of these that are And if you're not using 4010 format or test claims or dental, then it's not hurting anything to have them checked, okay? The patient range, you can come in and put a specific patient range if we wanted. This is probably something you won't use too much unless you are going to filter by patient's last name and have someone do, A through M, and then another staff member do N through Z. But it's here if you wanted to use it, though. All right. With the payer types, we could say only show me, Blue Cross payers or Blue Cross claims, or maybe I want to assign this particular staff member all of the commercial insurances. So they're going to see Aetna, Cigna, United Healthcare, all of them that are commercial. And then maybe another person will take the Blue Cross, Medicaid, and Medicare. All right, so you have that option. Save that. Down here at the bottom, this next one is payers. You can choose a specific insurance, show all payers, show selected payers, show working payers. You can choose your insurances this way. Of course, just by payer type, it's going to be much quicker for you than going through this list to see all of your commercial plans. Okay, so we're not going to use that particular one right now. The claim age, you can come look at the age. You can filter by the aging on the report. The claim amount, or place of service, the facility. If you're working on just one facility, you can do it that way. By a provider, by billing providers. Okay, and this right column, the rules, the response IDs, and the scrubbing, you won't use that really too much at all for these tasks, because we don't have scrubbing turned on with RelayHealth, and the response list, you would actually have to get the response ID from the ACM list before you could come in here and set up a task. So if that's something that you want to do, we can talk about that separately, but as a general rule, you probably will not use it too often. Okay, so we're going to save our selections. And instead of test task, we are going to show, let's do commercial claims acknowledged with no payments. Okay, and you can make that as detailed or as generic as you'd like for that description. As long as you know what that task is for, that's what really matters. Okay, so we're going to save this, and we want to show everything over 90 days. Okay, so we're going to save that, and now we have a new task. Here's our task right here for Central Billing Office, the claim task. Commercial claims acknowledged no payments. There's 5,225 claims totaling $3.5 million that are out here, over 90 days old. Right now, that's primarily because this demo database, there are a lot of old dates of service, but this is going to jump to my attention and say, you know what, I need to go out and look at these claims. To do that, I can double click on this, and it's going to pull me into ACM. All right, this should look familiar to you. This is basically ACM without the filter section on top. All right, here's a list of all of my accepted payers that have not been paid. Okay, down at the bottom is my history for each of those claims. So from here, I can go in and I have my normal menu. I can double click on it. I can go into my claim and work it from here. I can do the research I need to do in Management Plus and refile it from ACM. At this point, your normal ACM processes kick in. Okay, this task is just an alert to say, hey, you have a ton of claims out here that meet the criteria that you've set. All right. If we look at this one, this particular, also a claim task, we have unpaid claims over 90 days for Railroad Medicare. There's 16 of those, totaling $7,188. All right, I can double click on this and go in and just work those railroad claims. Maybe there was a problem with the batch that day. I can see all of my history down here and do what I need to do to get those corrected and refiled. All right, you can still print your claim list just like you can if you were to go straight into ACM or into your claim manager, you can also hit select claims, and it's going to pull up that same list. So double-clicking in the select items is the same function. Okay, it just gives you the detail of those 16 claims. This one is in outstanding work comp claims. Okay, so here we go. We have workers' comp. There's 2 claims, and both of them, rejected for different things. I can go in and find those and correct them, refile them. The purpose of these tasks is really to help you catch rejections, and you can split them up between different staff members to say, you're responsible for these, you're responsible for these. Okay? Now, this particular task is rejected and invalid claims. That is exactly the same as if we were to go into the claim manager and hit select invalid and reject. So we have the same 38 claims. Okay. Up at the top of this claim manager, you can say, show me the claims that are assigned to staff member 48. And if we do select claims, it's going to give me the claims that have been assigned to that particular staff member. Okay. So from a manager standpoint, I can come in and see what's going on, how everybody's doing with this new way of splitting claims up. All right. That history is there. When you right-click on a claim, let's choose a different claim. Okay, if you right-click on a claim, you can go in and you have an assign or unassign claim option. All right, so we can assign this to staff member 48 and save that. And the next time I come over to my task manager, that is going to be in my tasks because someone has sent that to me. Okay. You can also edit tasks. So if this isn't quite what you wanted, we can come over here and we can edit this task and say, all right, you know what, I just want primary claims, and I want to have just 90 to 120 and a minimum claim amount of $10. All right. I could specify more if I wanted to. I can also just leave it at that. And now I have 0 claims that meet that criteria. Okay? So you can kind of play around with these tasks, just adding and editing them. If it's one that you're done with, you can actually delete that. You can right-click and delete selected tasks. You can also come over here and, no, I'm sorry, you do have to right-click and delete that task. Okay? And then that will go away. All right? The submit and end just takes us out of our ACM. Okay. Let me make this back here. Go back into our task manager. We can right click, we can build a new task. That's the same as hitting add a task. Edit is the same as this edit button. Select items, copy a task. If you wanted, so we can take this task right here that is for unpaid claims over 90 days. I can right click and edit this, write down all of the settings, and then come back in and start from scratch creating a new task. Or I can right click on it and copy a task. Okay, maybe this time instead of railroad, I want straight Medicare. Let's do it this way. We'll just pick one, the Medicare. How about we choose, we'll just do Great West. Okay, we'll see if they have any in here. Okay, when I save this, now I have a new group, okay, with the same criteria that was set up under the railroad, just with different payers, and then I can, name this one unpaid claims over 90 days, and this will be multiple payers or Medicare, whatever it is I'm going to call it. Okay. Once we save that, it's going to show me that I have 16 claims for that group. That probably is, I think I might have Medicare or Railroad checked again. Yeah, see, I left Railroad checked. So I'd want to uncheck Railroad just so it wasn't the same information, but it will show you those separate lists. Okay. So with the task, it is really designed to help you filter out the information, act as a safety net to make sure you are capturing and correcting all of your claims, that you're not letting any slide through the cracks as far as missing payments or they've been denied but no one's followed up on them. Hoping that trying to help you get paid as much as possible from these insurance companies. Okay, down at the bottom, this Communication Center section, these are notes. This is information from RelayHealth, different alerts. This one says your enrollment has been rejected by Medicare. So this is just a notification from RelayHealth that I need to go correct that. And then you can mark it as read or not. Okay. Here's another one. It's informational. Check the ANSI 5010 website. Okay. Over here we have a link to that website if we wanted to click on it. Payer information, claims for Medicare Indiana and Medicare Kentucky were rejected erroneously. Okay, so it's just kind of a tool to help you catch this information again. And then our new software release. Okay, so different pieces of information there that will help you just kind of stay in the loop with everything. That is about it as far as the tasks go. There is, we have a few questions that we will talk about. So if you do have questions, let us know either through this webinar or email our support team. And let's go over and look at the questions that we have. To access ACM, we're going to access that from Management Plus. Okay, so let me log in really quick. And it is something that if it's not set up, then you need to let us know and we can get that set up for you. Okay, so here we have Management Plus open. And we go into Billing, Electronic Claims, and it's Manage Online. Okay, so that's going to take you into the Claim Manager. All right. If you do have insurance plans that you send through RelayHealth, but the payments do not come in from RelayHealth, they would show here as the status should still show as paid. Let's go in and look at this for a second. So if we add a task and we're going to do the claim, and we're going to come down here and look at your statuses. Those statuses will still show as paid. It's just not going to show as paid ERA. Okay, it might just show paid because the insurance will still update ACM to say, yep, we've paid that claim. Even if they paid nothing and they've sent an EOB with, a denial, it will show some sort of acknowledgement or paid action on an EOB. Okay, so if you don't have ERA set up through RelayHealth, it's okay. Your statuses will still be updated appropriately. All right. So let's close out of here. As far as the task, that's pretty much it. If you do have additional questions, let us know, and we would be happy to answer those. You can just email our support team. It's support@managementplus.com, or call our 800 number, 800-695-6994, option 1, and then option 2.